Do not be fooled by the bright sunshine. It is not warming a thing.
For me, it feels like a really safe place.
As Liz Nelson hikes the woods not far from her Shorewood home, the air is frigid.
No, I mix it up.
And the loudest sound comes from the crunch made with every step.
It just quiets me down.
But she'll gladly take walking on snow because the alternative for her
I knew things weren't right.
was living on thin ice.
My mood had changed. I was sleeping a lot, quick to anger, incredibly sad. So those were sort of classic symptoms of depression.
It was a friend who saw the signs and pointed them out.
That was back in my 40s.
Liz was open to help, and she got it.
I was a single mom raising 2 kids, so I needed to be present for them.
And she now feels a responsibility to pull others out of the hole she was once in. She talks gladly and candidly about her successful battle with depression.
I learned from that if I can help others, then that's what I want to do. And this whole podcast coming to be really presented a terrific opportunity for me to do that.
No, Liz does not have a podcast.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on Giving Voice to Depression. I'm Bridget.
And I'm Terry. Then the music would play.
But the Bertha sisters do.
I wanted the dog right there, but...
Once a week, Bridget, on a feed from Seattle, and Terry,
I like dogs, but I don't like the way they make a noise.
in a studio in Hales Corners, produce a show based on 2 indisputable facts. Depression and anxiety are rampant in our society.
1 in 5 adults in America will have a mental health struggle.
And both are treatable.
We're trying to chip away at the stigma. We're trying to make it safe for people to get and ask for the help they need, the support they need. And for the people without depression, we're trying to get you to understand it a little bit.
At this point, you're probably thinking, a podcast about depression? That sounds a little too depressing. But hold on a second, because each episode is really about triumph, victory, and hope. And really, we all need to be reminded from time to time that everything's going to be all right.
More people would listen if they knew it wasn't depressing. You know, I said, I will not do the I'm Sad 2 podcast.
Terry Bertha has this update. Terry.
Joanne, as you said,
If you're thinking that face and voice seem familiar, it means you've been watching this station for a while. Bertha, a Milwaukee native, was an anchor and reporter for then TV6 News during the 1980s.
Indeed, China, Britain, and West Germany today.
She knows the power of a story well told.
Here in the United States,
When her kids were born, she did more time-friendly work, medical video narrations, corporate training videos, and commercials. Her voice was in high demand.
right now it's just water.
And then, a few years ago, it hit.
Yeah. I didn't even identify it, I don't think, as depression. Balanced.
But it was, and it was bad.
Yeah. I was not suicidal, but I very much wouldn't have minded dying in my sleep.
That was rock bottom. She got help, she got better, and then she got an epiphany.
Made a living with my voice for 35 years. I can be the voice for people who aren't ready to tell their story, who don't feel safe telling their story, who are afraid they'll be judged or know they'll be judged. And for people who just need to hear a familiar story, who just need to hear the, yeah, it's just like that. She gets it.
We met Justin, and he shared his story so that we could explore the prevalence of depression in college-aged people.
You can get better.
The podcast and corresponding Facebook page have helped form an amazing, supportive community, literally life-saving.
God bless you all.
The responses prove the need for such a show.
I wouldn't have made it this far without you. It helps me know I'm not alone. Nice to know there's a community to turn to.
It's just beautiful.
Liz Nelson is glad she shared her story. She knows it's a journey people cannot and should not walk alone. Giving voice to depression makes sure they don't have to.
It is an absolute lifeline to those folks who have depression, or family and friends, neighbors, coworkers who have depression, to be able to, one, understand that and figure out what your place is on their journey as well. And I think it's an absolute, I want to say godsend, because it really is.